That's right. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, but now. When?
Now.
So we're
Such a kind now.
So kind.
so we're excited to be here, reporting live from the Pacific Northwest, the city where it never rains. We're saying this by faith. The region where it never rains. We're saying where it's it rains selectively, right? No, we're excited to be here, and today's topic, Michelle has got quite a game for us. I'm your host, Andre. Go ahead and say your first name, everybody.
My name is Jaleel.
And I'm Mara.
Doing too much.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're the Four Musketeers. No. Back to seriousness now. Michelle, talk to us about what we got going on today. It's a little
Yes.
different.
Well, it's exciting because this week we've got the whole team. As Chris, one of our coaches, likes to call us, and you too, Andre, the peanut gallery. Just
Shout out to
everyone in the
peanut gallery.
office always wants to be in our meetings. They're like, I don't know what you guys talk about, but we just want to laugh as hard as you guys laugh. So this
True.
is a
That's
blessing
real.
to have all of us here together.
Confirms.
But today we're going to talk about entrepreneurial excellence. What are the 10 must-have habits for success? And it's going to be a little bit of a game, as these are all entrepreneurs here. So I'm going to test them and see if they know the answer. What kind of, and again, this is from a Forbes article. So this is what Forbes think. They might think other things, but I think from the things that we preach, Forbes is pretty spot on. So
Okay.
just
Shout
to
out
get
Forbes.
go ahead and get started.
I won't shout you out too much.
Who has an idea? Okay, Jalil.
I feel like a student in class. Pick me. All right. First element of entrepreneurial excellence: resilience. Is that on the list? Resilience.
Remember, it's habits.
Oh, habits.
Yes.
Okay. Can you repeat the thing then? Sorry.
10 proven habits of successful entrepreneurs.
10 proven habits of successful entrepreneurs. Time blocking. Or time management. Something about how they use their time.
Yes, I mean, this one could go into it. They create success routines.
Time and routine. Yeah.
Time
All right,
and
bet.
routine.
Bet.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Well,
Why is that important?
Yeah, so the reason that came to my mind is because entrepreneurs and high achievers have a very an awareness about their time. It's not to be wasted. It's your greatest resource. It is the one resource that has no refunds. So it's planned. Live by the calendar. You put the thing on the calendar. If you don't get to it, then you move it on the calendar, but you make sure it stays on the calendar so it gets done. And so I know just people in my life that are high achievers. They're planning ahead. Typically, this week is used to plan next week, so you don't catch them. Like, you don't just catch them like, hey, you want to grab lunch? Nah, this week was planned last week, so you got to either catch me next week or the week after that, because it's strategy. And so having routines allows you to predict the outputs, because really all we can do is control our outputs. We can't control outcomes, because life is life. There's so many different factors,
Yeah.
But what we can do is we can control how many calls am I going to make today, how many emails are going to make today, who am I going to talk to today, what event can I go to talk to people. We can control outputs, not necessarily outcomes. So I know routine and habit had to be one of them.
Yeah, it says, then you realize that if you organize your time and have routines, you can reap incredible advantages. You can get more done. And it says that doesn't mean it has to be boring, though. You can still wake up and go kite surfing off your private island or skip down to the beach
Come
to
on.
surf at lunchtime. Success is just as much about scheduling regular time to blow off steam and do inspiring things.
That's huge. That's real.
Which there's some things you do. What have you been into lately?
Oh, come on. I've been roller skating, y'all. I'll tell you this. And over these last 2 months, I've been getting into it like heavy. And what's cool is my pops was big into roller skating in like Detroit, because that's where he came up. And I brought him roller skating like 2 weeks ago, and it was a blast. So I think it's gonna be a thing. And what I found though too is like I've been learning to schedule like fun and like there's rhythms of work and rest. I'm definitely I'm the worker, so I have to learn how to rest and do things that are fun. But it's put me in such a better mood and mindset to be able to have like an outlet of something. Like sometimes I just keep my skates in my car.
Yeah.
And so if I got a charge or whatever and there's just a nice paved parking lot and I'm just feeling or whatever, put some music on, skate for 30 minutes, get back in the car, keep going.
Yes.
And it just, now I feel creative, my blood's flowing.
Yes.
And so it's not all like, oh, I just got to work every minute of the day, but like just doing something fun has been cool. So thanks for asking about that.
All right. Who, between Andre and Mara, who's got the next one?
Well, the ability to multitask is what you just spoke to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how you knock multiple things off the to-do list. You just activated your life and your car at the same time.
Truly.
So, and I'm told that that's the first thing that goes when you get old. So being an entrepreneur, that's really something that you need to value and master, the ability to multitask. So is that a habit? I don't know. I think
Well, I think that goes hand in hand with.
I'm not cheating because I'm sitting next to her, so I'm not looking. But yeah, completing task, like taking ownership of your task and getting it done, like can-do attitude. Like I don't know.
Habit, right? Habits.
Yeah, this is habits.
Completing what you start. I know that's a solid principle. What is Forbes' thing?
So you're saying completing what you say you were going to do?
He's not on the mic, so but she says multitask.
Well, I think
Are
she
you
was saying more.
translating for me?
Right.
I thought you had to be the mic.
He ain't got a mic either.
Well, here's what goes hand in hand with that is they are always seeking to fail, which kind of goes hand in hand with that because I think entrepreneurs, when they say they're going to do something, they do it. And even if they fail, they find the lesson in that and keep going.
That's huge.
So I think that
That's
goes
heavy.
hand in hand. Yeah.
Seeking to fail. Whew. Or you reach your outcome. Like, get one or the other.
Right.
So, completing that task is what I would call it. But I agree.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, one of the coaches has this thing that stands out to me, and let's see if any of them fall on the list. He calls them the 4 referability habits. And one of them is to show up on time. Number 2 is do what you say. Number 3 is finish what you start. And number 4 is say please and thank you. I talked with our team about this a while ago, but I'll say them again. And maybe one of them is on the list or maybe multiple, some variation of it. Number 1 is show up on time. Number 2 is do what you say. Number 3 is finish what you start. And number 4 is say please and thank you. So if you show up on time, it's in this era, especially when we have Zoom, it's frustrating for people when people are chronically late because they said all you had to do was walk over to your kitchen and click. Even from a starting point, you could just have a placeholder, but be there, show up. That idea of people can't say they were stuck in traffic when they have the ability to log on. So that showing up on time is massive because it shows a respect of other people's time. It's not just my time, it's other people's time. If I'm chronically late and people know that if I say one time, it really means 40 minutes into the future, then they're not going to take me seriously. So the showing up on time is massive for our entrepreneurs because some people look at it as, oh, it's just time, but time is the most valuable and limited resource that we have. It's right up there with our health, right? So time and health are massive. And if we minimize it by just saying, I learned this as a young child, probably about middle school age, and one of my best friend, I was always lying and saying I was on my way when I wasn't on my way. And there's no cell phones at this time. So it's like he's calling up my house and from a payphone, like, bro, where are you at? Are you oh yeah, I'm on. I'm just, and I'm lying. I haven't even started to get ready. I'm still playing video games. You know what I mean? So it was disrespectful to make them. And shout out to a friend who's not going to be a friend anymore because they're going to get tired of me. But that was very eye-opening to me about reckoning. He's like, I wasted the whole day. I went around. I waited for you. You said you was going to be, and you didn't even come. Like, you took the bus later. It just is. It's a bad look. So I thought about that with how did that translate into real life? My children know. My family knows I'm a stickler. I over-index on that so much that it gets on people's nerves. So I got to rein that in. The other side of it is that the humans are more important than the getting to the destination. But I'm saying I do think it's very important that we set those. I love Jim Rohn says, don't start the next day until you've already finished it, which means plan out your next day. When you're in the evening, take that time to plan out so that you can anticipate those hiccups. Already got my food packed up, got my clothes laid out, got the day mapped out. I know where I'm headed to. I know what my first meeting is. I know what my second. I know what my close is. I know how traffic moves. So since traffic moves this way, I know that I need to get there. For me, I had a job for a while where I was way on the other side of town. So I would get there over early on purpose so that they're like, why are you there so early? So I don't have to deal with getting caught up. I'm going to go sit on a parking lot and wait first before I even go into the building and just or sometimes I'm the very first one there, or I look for an opportunity of that. I'm one of the first people opening the building up because I hate that feeling of fumbling in late. So think about yourself with your business. How are you showing up? We only get one chance to make a first impression. So I don't know where that falls on the list. If any of those 4 that they listed up for referability habits, if any one of them are on the list, I don't know. I'm trying to wax deep, and I should be stopping to look at the game show host. And they're like, incorrect.
You scored none of them.
Well, none of those were on the list, but you did say one thing. Right. You did say one thing. You said health, and that's on the list.
Okay. You got one.
Okay. They exercise and they sleep.
Oh,
so
come on. Yeah.
proven habits. 2 proven habits of successful entrepreneurs is that they exercise and they sleep. They prioritize both of those things.
Yeah. Okay, so how many do we got so far? How many do we hit so far?
So far, we've got 4.
All right, 6 more.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about showing up on time. 4.
Make prospecting calls. They outreach, marketing, consistent.
They are constantly building powerful networks.
Come on! Come on, you saw that. Bang!
We always say that, right? It's not about what you're doing, but who you know.
Come on, not what you know, who you know. Period. That's actually real. I will say that joining this team has been something very exciting for me personally because I moved to the Seattle area. I didn't grow up here, and so having a career path like this, where
he's an import.
Yeah, I'm an import product of Seattle, but I do enjoy this area and the people that are in it, and most of the people that are in it. I'll tell you, there's some spots that have exposed me to some life that I was sheltered from. But anyways, okay, so I'll say this: this position at this job has allowed me to connect with a lot of people, and it's really opened my mind. There was a video, so we did a teaching. There's a video Andre sent me to start the discussion off with, and this guy was talking about, I can't remember the title of his message, but essentially like how to become a massive influencer. And one of the things he said is, someone woke up with the resources that you need today. So if you're trying to do something, someone woke up today with the knowledge that you need. Someone woke up with the money that you need. There are literally people out there that maybe ran a company, sold it, now they have a bunch of money and few ideas. And so there's an infinite amount of money out there, but there are few and rare very good ideas. So find the person that has that resource that you need. that stuck with me. And the people that we meet in this work, I'm telling you, like, we get to not only consult with people that are coming up, but we get to talk to people that are already up. And so it's like anything that we really need, it's a phone call away as we continue to build the network. All right.
Read.
The plane landed.
All right. I think a good habit of a successful entrepreneur is to constantly seek new knowledge or master your craft.
Yes.
Remaining coachable, get you in the door. Like, I'm still
Consistent learning.
searching for new techniques and the best of the best. And that's essentially what people come to you for, is your expertise. So, right? It's up to me to know what the best options are for my potential customers. So that's my...
Is that on there?
Shout out to Les Brown. She was hungry.
Okay. You gotta be hungry.
Says no.
I was going to say some people gain knowledge in different ways, but one of the one that's on there is read.
Reading.
They
Come
constantly
on.
read,
Yes.
so they do.
Student. Come
They
on.
are constantly growing in their knowledge, always
learning.
learning. Yeah. So Mara, spot on. Okay, they're always learning.
Always be learning. ABL.
So they say
lifelong
read, but
student.
I mean, you could always be watching videos or going to workshops or whatever it is.
But there's
Tons of
nothing like
resources.
reading. Reading slows us down. Reading causes for our brain to be
Look at
unlocked.
him, he's so
Mike,
aggressive.
shout out to Audible. You got to do what you got to do. Listen to that book on 1.2. All right. Anyway, but reading does slow us down, and it's great. It's
1.2.
efficient. Anyway,
I
okay.
know that's
How many
right.
more do we got? We're missing some now.
We've got
Yeah, Andre, you're up on the next one. 4 more.
Forbes. Well, I thought reading was that should be 3 more, right?
no.
Oh, well.
Okay. All right.
Let's see. What have we said so far? Name the ones we've said so far.
We've said exercise,
Bing,
sleep.
bing,
They are always seeking to fail.
bing,
They create success routines.
bing,
They are constantly building powerful networks.
bing,
And they read.
bing. All right. Now, and what is the title of the article?
Oh my gosh.
Wait, say the ones that we have already.
Okay, we have exercise, sleep, always seeking to fail.
That's one.
Create
Say it by
success
number, Michelle.
routines.
Say it. Make it slow. Number
Oh
one,
my
we have.
goodness.
Number two, we have. Because if you say
Number
exercise and sleep,
one,
it sounds like
exercise. Number 2, sleep. Number 3, they are always seeking to fail. Number 4, create success
one. Bing.
routines. 5, they are constantly building powerful networks. And 6, read.
Read.
The other 4, y'all preach all the time, so maybe your brain is just, you gotta dig a little deeper.
They are.
This is
They're
the
on their.
10
They're.
proven habits of successful entrepreneurs.
They know their finances. They know their numbers.
Bang, money management. Talk about it.
So, if you can't manage $1, how should I give you another 10, right? Or 9, right? So, it is the true axiom to be faithful with little to become ruler of much. So, all of our entrepreneurs, if we don't know, they say Warren Buffett's 2 rules is number 1, don't lose $1, and number 2, don't forget rule number 1, right? So it's this idea of knowing knowing your numbers, knowing how the resources are flowing, knowing how to manage them and how to steward them, knowing your balance sheet, knowing your P&Ls, knowing what's the difference between assets and liabilities, right? Learning how do you squander? It's interesting that word, we talked about the son in Luke 15 a few weeks ago on one of these episodes, and how it says he was wasting his wealth on riotous living. And this is a temptation for all of us. It may not be riotous living as we're thinking. Some of you may not be big partiers or, some illicit lifestyle, yet you don't know where you got too much month left at the end of the money consistently, and you're overdrafted and you're all these different things. So figuring out how your resources are flowing, and also what's driving you psychologically for how you spend. Because there are things that people look at for validation. There are times we're out of sequence sometimes where we're trying to, I want to get, I'm going to go buy this big piece of equipment because it's going to help my business. Well, do you even have an asset currently that is proven that you have earned that you've worked your way up to that? I need to pay myself this, amount because I deserve it. Well, are you even profitable enough? Are you cash flowing enough to be able to do that? If you don't know your numbers on paper, it may look like there is money that's flowing in, but then when you get down to that net cost, when you get down to that the gross can show that the product is selling, but the net will reveal if you actually have a business, right? So it's looking at those numbers and knowing them and then seeing what's really going on. So looking underneath the hood, managing well, figuring out how to become more effective, figuring out how to invest well, how to make it grow, right? It's not how much you earn, but how much you keep, and also how long you can keep it, how you can make it grow generation to generation. So I think that the money management piece is massive, and people have their different methodology around it, but overall, take some time and examine and become familiar with those numbers, become familiar with those sheets. I wish they would have taught us that in school instead of teaching us about other things, because that's what the bank's looking at if we're trying to go get some financing for a business. Is we need to understand these balance sheets, and we need to understand what income minus expenses equals profit or loss. We need to know these things.
Mara, you want to take a passage?
Okay, let's see, what haven't we talked about? A good habit of a successful entrepreneur is to have a succession plan in the event that they can't fulfill the role. They have a plan in place.
Well, here's the next one. They set big, clear goals.
So vision, that's big.
So vision, that's kind of, you want to talk a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I mean, you got to know where the end point is to know if you're going in the right direction. So whatever that means, putting together a team so you can execute your scope of work. That's kind of vague, but that's what it takes.
Mara, you've been well. She's the mayor, so she'll always understate. So talk about the feeling of being for yourself early on in life when it comes with business, and maybe making your first $1,000 or first $100 or something where you realize that, wait a minute, I had planned this out, I set the goal and I hit the goal, or I've exceeded the goal. What was the mindset then, and what was the next move? Because that's where some of the entrepreneurs are at, is that they're at their early stage and they said, man, I set this $5,000 goal and I actually got 7, or somebody else's, I set this $5,000 goal and I got 3,000. You know what I mean? How do I regroup? What are the moves that I need to make to get to that place? Or how do I handle this when it's overflow, when it's more than you thought? Do you take it in now? It's like, I'm going to the party. I'm like,
Come on.
Yeah, well, essentially, reaching your first goal gives you the opportunity to reassess, to see, is this something that I enjoyed? Because being an entrepreneur gives you the opportunity to pick and choose what you do for a living. It was the process painful,
That's good.
right? So maybe you need to reassess, train and understudy so you can grow and expand if it was too much for you by yourself. But having options is the goal, ultimately, to get where you want to be. So I've really enjoyed taking on different projects of shapes and sizes, because that was my ultimate goal, is to be able to master my craft and say no.
So what do you do if something, it was when you were early on and you hit a goal and you exceeded it and it was more than you? Did you take it and feel like, okay, now this is I'm gonna go, I don't know,
I felt
buy a new car, go chill at the beach, or what did you do?
There's always a bigger end goal, So was that the final destination, or was that just part of getting there, getting the path?
So you're saying. So you're saying. Shut up. He's like, just keep the mic. He's done with this community sharing stuff. So when you re-up and you put it right back into the business is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Because it's a proven success, right? If it can be done once, it can be done again. And that's the best part about being a successful entrepreneur is knowing that it can be done, right?
And sometimes, some people live from tax return to tax return, which I do not recommend. It's a horrible way to live, meaning that they like go buy a new TV and all this type of stuff or whatever. But also when things come unexpectedly, like say you get in a car accident that nobody's hurt, but the person was in the wrong and you might just have to go get some adjustments at the chiropractor or something, but nobody's really hurt, but the car's damaged and they have to pay you out and they pay you out in a settlement. You could easily look at it as like, oh, this is vacation money. Or you could take that unexpected money and put it into your business and turn it into an asset. Like what are more assets that I can build off of this? I wasn't even expecting this to come in. They gave me an extra 20K. I'm going to take this 20K and I'm going to put it into this. I'll take the other 5 and put it into this. I'm going to take the 2 off the top and give it to the Lord for those that believe that and stand on that. So principle of this.
Jalil, could you speak on how in our programs we help our entrepreneurs set big, clear goals?
Oh, 100%. One of the things we do, even in our principles course, because the principles course is really the course that prepares you for the sharks of the beach, for the thrive, because we literally spend 3 weeks, we fire hose a lot of information, and we're all on mindset. And so we help our entrepreneurs within those first few weeks first understand what a business is, because a lot of them come into it thinking, oh, it's just I'm a CEO and I got to just do everything and that's what makes me a business. And we help them clarify first, okay, a business is a system that pays you whether you show up or not. Okay, boom. Now that I have clarity on the definition of what a business is, now
Let that marinate for a second, though. You kind of just blowing through that. Don't let that go over your head. He said something that, what is a business again? Don't just let that marinate for a second.
a business is a system that pays you whether you show up or not. So think of something that you can exit. Think Amazon. Think McDonald's franchise. Think Walmart.
Yeah, does a Walmart son or daughter have to go to the store?
Yeah, the Walmart family does not work in Walmart, okay? Think about that, all right? So now that we've helped them to clarify what a business is, clarity is power, and clarity is also kindness. And so once you have that clarity and you have a vision, now you can build a strategy to get yourself to that point. Without that vision, you're going to be aimless. And when you're aimless, you have anxiety. That's the ultimate truth. And so I'm glad that we talked about vision as part of this, or Forbes was spot on with it, because the goal has to be big, but it also has to be clear.
Yes.
It has to be clear. And so nothing happens by accident. And when you have that destination, now you've got that thing going in your subconscious, that reticular activating system. And so everything that you're doing, you're going to be thinking, oh, maybe this could get me closer, or maybe this conversation can get me closer to that goal. And eventually you'll find yourself there. So, yeah, that's good.
One of our coaches last night, when we're going through the business model canvas, you may not know what that is, but if you get in our programs, you'll soon find out. But while we were going through that, she was laying out the different categories, and she was saying some of you are more visual. You need to put this up and you need to put it on a wall. You need to put post-it notes on. You need to get specific as possible. You need to see it with clarity, right? Think about yourselves. If you think about that you want your business to be, some of these magazines or publications might impress you. They might be the ones that you aspire. Hey, I want to be a Forbes 100 business. Well, put that, and maybe that, or maybe you want to be, you want your business to be one of your products to be one of the best selling. I want the #1 spot on Amazon for this category. Well, start print out that list and put a picture of your business there on top of that, next to it, and start to say, well, what are the steps that I need to do to get to this place? Do your due diligence. Look at the products and look at the gaps. Go and do arbitrage, which means go do research on the different products that are on Amazon that might be in your vertical. And I'm talking about people, and it's the same thing with a service-based business. There's so much data that is curated, and there's so many analytics and ways to be able to read people's rating system. So when you look at that and you say, hey, let me go look at these 3 and 4 star reviews and see what it is that they're missing. This product was good if only it had this. Well, there you are with the solution. Now they did the work for you, and you saw they got 500 reviews where they said this. I can add this component onto it, and now I can go in and get these same customers who've already proven that they're spending the money for it. And now I can actually level up and start to raise your ranking in it and get reviews that give you favorable outcomes for your business. So when you think clear, vivid vision, you get that you want a goal. If a goal does not create energy, when you talk about clear goals, Michelle, if a goal does not create energy, get rid of that goal. Don't have nostalgic goals that you had 5 years ago that no longer compel you to do anything. It needs to get you up out of bed and needs to pull you through the mundane. It needs to excite you. It needs to energize you. It needs to make you want to move towards something. It needs to make you, because your goals identify your enemies. And it also identifies your allies, so you could see what's in opposition to it because you're clear on it. It's like, oh, nope, that's contrary to where I'm going. That's not my goal. I'm not moving in that direction. I can't run with this crowd. I can't do these type of things. So that your clear vision dictates your priorities and it sets your goals. We want that crystal clear vision. There's that scripture that says, write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2 something, which is probably a hard book to spell because I don't even know how to spell it. But however it sounds, like buck teeth, like Habakkuk, right? That's probably a horrible way to spell it, but but it's like two verse something, and it says, write the vision and make it plain so that the herald or the person can run with it. You want your vision so clear that anybody in your organization can read it and they know which steps to go. We talk about constantly amongst our team, almost ad nauseum, about SOPs, that I want standard operating procedures for each one of their areas. I want somebody to plug in because I don't see any one of them as remaining in the roles that they have. I see that someone can step in and that they go to the next place and that they're up, and that someone else can step in and fit right in the system and make things go to the next level. So think about the vividness of your vision, the clarity of your vision. Like he said, the clarity is power, and it's also kindness to others in your organization because they see, wow, that somebody did the due diligence. Somebody thought about me who would be joining this organization, and they see that I would have these questions. How many of you love when you go, not the dead websites, but if you ever go to a website nowadays, and most people don't go to websites, but if you do go to a website and they have the FAQs, the frequently asked questions, and you're like, man, I was literally thinking that. I even like those when I go to a shop for a product and they have the FAQs, and I'm like, okay, let me see what other people are asking. You know, I wouldn't have thought to ask that, but that probably would have been a question. So think about that with your business, with your enterprise. Clear goals, clear vision. Clear vision, clearer goals.
And then, just for time's sakes, I'm going to just say the last two. The last two are aggressively create and protect time for relaxing. So you really spend a lot of time creating, but you also create time for relaxing.
Come on.
And I think that was something Andre preached to me when I first joined the team. He's like, what are you doing? You work in like all these jobs, you're working all this time. Like, when do you relax? When do you have time to just chill? You know, and I was like, I don't know. I don't need that right now. I'm young. But as I started implementing that into my life, I'm just like, wow, this is really important time. And most importantly, from coming from like a really big family, time by myself and with me is the next step. It's like I took time away from work to now, okay, I can spend time with my loved ones, but now I've been spending more time with myself. So that's another one.
I joked, and if somebody read my lips, I have to say it on the mic because I don't want you to get offended. I said working like a Mexican. And what I meant by that is that the work ethic of the people groups that we highlight is that have tremendous work ethic are Mexican people of Mexican heritage.
sleep on my
So it's
Jamaicans, though.
and don't sleep on Jamaicans because he's this guy. I knew he was gonna say it. I said right up on the racetrack, right up on the racetrack. They running neck and neck with with the work ethic. So I was just pointing out that with that, it's definitely powerful that she's hitting on the point of that. It's a work rest cycle. That's how the Creator made us. He designed us for work and then rest. But so many people will skip rest because they're like, it's not even necessary. And then there's some people that over-index on rest and they're doing too much. But for those of you that struggle with I say you can't. I heard somebody say it, and I keep it. Is that you don't want to cannibalize the moment. That you can never celebrate the victories. You're always eating it up with, oh well, we still need to go further. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. The gap in the gain. You don't want, and you can say that on the mic because
The Gap in the Gain, a fantastic book by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, talks about that. Most entrepreneurs suffer from this. I was an entrepreneur that suffered from this, sometimes still suffer from this. You have these goals, you have these dreams, and so you strive towards them, and then you hit maybe a celebration point, a benchmark, and then you cannibalize and say, yeah, but I'm not here yet. And then next thing you know, you're
rough though.
It's not it. It's not it. So I think he just made a reference that I did not capture, actually. So let me land the plane because I know we're short for time and Michelle's going to finish this out. But I want to encourage you, check out the book, The Gap in the Gain, Dan Sullivan, Benjamin Hardy, because it will help you learn how to measure your success from where you've been and not from where you're trying to go. When you can measure your success from where you've been, you can say, hey, you know what? I might not be here, but look where the Lord has brought me from. And you can stay striving in a heart place of gratitude.
Yes.
And I'll just leave it at that. So check out that book.
Okay, last one. Focus on the highest value task. And I feel like people have kind of talked about it here and there,
good.
but
So good.
does anybody want to give a little 30-second?
Revenue generating activities. When you look at you clear all the clutter and you think about what is it that generates revenue for your business, because some of us will do everything else. We'll procrastinate, and that could be for life. Think about talk about money revenue, but I'm talking about that which is propelling you forward in the goal and the setting and the calling for which you're put on this earth for. You do all the other things, but that one thing still eating you when you're sitting in your bed at night because you're like, I had this one thing that I knew I was supposed to do that produces the most output, the most benefit for my life, the most profitable, and I didn't do it. So what are the revenue generating activities? Those have high priority over just doing everything else. And it's the art of prioritization, of knowing what rises above all the noise. It's like, right, they say the signal through the noise, right? Are you hearing the clear signal of where I'm supposed to be going? So definitely knowing what do they call it? High priority. Because me and Forbes are beefing right now because we was dropping gems, and Forbes was saying no.
Focus on the highest value task.
Yeah.
Super good. We cover this in the principles class as well, because after we identified the wildly important goal, then we have to figure out what's our most important next step.
The wigs.
And the wigs. And so I really like this. This is something I've really been doing a lot of self-work in, because it's so easy to feel busy but not get anything done. Who is it? The man's super Denzel Washington. The freshest, just most amazing, one of the most amazing black men to walk this earth. Shout out to Denzel Washington. All right, but he says, don't mistake movement for progress. Don't mistake movement for progress. So an application for you to help you figure out what your green time is, sometimes it's called, your most important activity. Imagine that you're about to take a vacation in 48 hours. You're going to go somewhere beautiful, somewhere that you've been imagining, all right? It could be somewhere in Mexico. It could be Bora Bora, all right? Somewhere amazing, right? And you have 2 days to knock out everything that you need to do before you go on vacation. What are those items that you're going to knock out? All right? Whatever those items are, those are the first things that you need to focus on doing every single week. It likely has to do with outreaching to somebody or getting to some important customer. Whatever those items are, whatever came to the front of your mind, write those down, circle them big, because we also talk about in the principles class Pareto's principle, which is the 80-20 rule. All right? 20% of the things that you do produce 80% of the results in your business. 20% of the things that you do week in and week out produce 80% of the results in your business. So if you go through your weekend like, I'm so tired, think about this. You're super tired at the end of the week, but 20% of the things that you did that week is actually what propelled your business. So if you find that 20% and you focus and prioritize on that 20% and you start maximizing all these other habits, and now you've got great strategy because you have a clear goal, you have clarity around your most important green times, and you can make sure you hit those things in a specific amount of time. Now you can go relax, rest, recover, and do your thing.
Shout out to New Pro.
All right.
Any announcements and we're out of here.
I was going to say mic drop.
It is.
And I just wanted to end with this scripture, Romans 12:2 says, "And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, what that which is good and acceptable and perfect." And I want to end with that quote because these habits have to be built. And so allow for yourself to be renewed. Allow for your mind to be renewed and to build up to these. It's okay if these are not your habits right now. But we know that successful people, these are their habits.
That's good.
So also take a look in the mirror and figure out which of these habits do you have, which of these do you not have. You can build to them.
That's right. You can replace all the bad habits with these new habits. So do an inventory and just start, as she just said, do it incrementally, piece by piece. Start with one and build up to the other ones by replacing the other bad habits with these habits. So good stuff.
Announcements?
Any announcement?
Here, I'll do the last two announcements. All right. Last two announcements. At the time of this recording, we have our Night of Impact event happening May 3rd at the Renton Pavilion for Urban Impact. This organization has been doing work in the community for 30 plus years, so it's not our first time raising capital. However, this is going to be the first hoity-toity event of its kind, so we're really excited about it. And our goal is to raise $250,000. So if you're watching this video before May 3rd, 2024, we invite you to visit our website, register for that event. We would love to see you there. Bring your friends. And then our other event, very near and dear to our team's heart, is our Sharks at the Beach pitch competition. And it's going to be May 28th, hosted here at Emerald City Bible Fellowship Church. It's going to be at 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., and we're very, very excited about the entrepreneurs that we're going to be helping to launch into their own careers. And they're also going to get to pitch in a competition against each other to win some cash money. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. Let's go.
That's it, everybody.
That's it.
Well, have a wonderful weekend. Be blessed. Do all of these things. Find time to relax and time to create.
All right. Figure out the one that stuck out to you the most. Circle it and then work on that next week. All right, one at a time.
Okay.
We'll see you then.
All right. Assignment. They have been assigned.